And in tonight's Queen City Chronicles, we are introducing you to a Western New York singer-songwriter whose career included top 40 hits and performances all over the country with some of the biggest names in show business. Here's Eddie Dobashevitz once again.
There was a time when you had to go to Los Angeles or New York City to make it in the music business. That may have been true, but there's a story to be told about blooming where you're planted, especially if you have your own soundtrack.
My aunt bought me a transistor radio, a red one, and I heard Buddy Holly come on singing Maybe Baby, and my mother was on the other side of the table. I said, "That's what I want to do, Mom. I want to write songs and play."
And so began a career for John Culleton Mahoney, the Buffalo boy that had seen charting hits performing throughout America while traveling across a bridge from one century to the next, but never forgetting where he came from.
I started my first band. It was called the Saturns. Dave Zielinski's father had a bar. So we played in the back room, and I met up with Dave Marciniak. He lived in back of the Broadway Market. He was a great drummer, and Bob Horbit joined the band then, and all of a sudden we took a manager on, Don Sharp. He knew everybody at KB Radio for some reason. He knew Joey Reynolds standing there with, and he says, "Listen, we're going to form a band, and I think we're going to name it the Buddies. We're going to go and record, on Smart Records. We're going to get a record label, I'm telling you." So we recorded Paul Speed and The Beatles. And before you know it, they were like top 40 songs.
Legendary DJ Danny Neverth saw it all happen. He was right there.
You just knew that, he was above and beyond the local garage band or local pickup band.
I'm 15 and people are chasing us around trying to rip our clothes off. We had sport coats on and it said KB Buddies on them.
But the KB Buddies only lasted a few years. As so often happens, life is a way of pulling people in different directions, but this troubadour kept his guitar tuned and his compass pointed straight ahead. When John hooked up with Barbara Sinclair, the road got a little wider and the ride got a little faster.
I went down to Lang's on Fillmore in Maine. I went down there and I liked the way she sings. And she had that Aretha Franklin voice, and with my voice, I would sing lead. We would switch off. Ain't No Mountain High, we can do duets. And we became really popular. Jerry Myers heard us. He said, "I want to record you, but we need a song." So I went upstairs in my attic and I wrote Share Your Love. I brought it to him. He says, "Excellent, we're going to do it." We went in, we did it. It was a big song. It was on Mercury Records.
But there are no guarantees of success in show business. You have to be willing to take chances, maybe even be part daredevil.
I went down to the Yankee Whaler, and they hired me as a solo guitar player. Lenny Silver saw me. He said, "Listen, you ever hear of this guy, Evel Knievel? The guy he wrote the song with wrote That's Life for Frank Sinatra."
We sold over 500,000 copies in the United States, maybe more. It was on every jukebox in every little restaurant in the country. And wherever we went, he said, "Look at us here. The Bell of Evel Knievel, John Culleton Mahoney."
Exciting as it was, the tug of the Queen City is strong. And for John Culleton Mahoney, home is where his heart was.
My mother got sick, and I came back to Buffalo. I wanted to be with her. I love Buffalo. That's why I came back. My roots are here, It'd be nice to have a home in California and a home here, right? And maybe a home in Florida.
A lot of guys who had a certain amount of fame, when the public changed their taste, they kind of faded away. And he's always been there.
Singer, songwriter, recording artist, far from packing up his guitar, this balladeer has much more to offer. He's not done yet.
Just keep writing songs and just keep busy, with the music.
For Eyewitness News, I'm Eddie Dobashevitz, and these are the Queen City Chronicles.